Sha Carri Richardson's epic relay comeback, a redemption story for the ages. Sometimes redemption comes exactly when you need it most, and Sha Carri Richardson found hers on the anchor leg of the women's 4x100 relay as Team USA capped off the World Championships with a statement-making sweep of both relay events. Richardson entered Sunday's final night still stinging from her fifth-place finish in the individual 100 meters, but when her teammates needed her most, she delivered the kind of clutch performance that defines championship careers. Running through Tokyo's steady rain, she overcame an early deficit to secure gold in 41.75 seconds, giving the United States 3 relay victories on a night filled with emotion and farewell tributes. The evening belonged to American sprinting at its finest, with Noah Lyles and Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone adding exclamation points to their outstanding championships, while Richardson finally captured the individual moment that had eluded her all week. Richardson's comeback story reaches its peak. Richardson transformed frustration into fuel during her anchor leg heroics. Unlike her dominant relay performances from previous years where she could showboat past opponents, this race demanded everything she had from start to finish. She actually trailed by 0.01 seconds when teammate Kayla White handed her the baton, forcing her to dig deeper than ever before. The comeback took several strides to develop, but once Richardson found her rhythm, she gradually pulled away from Jamaica's Joni L. Smith to secure victory by just 0.04 seconds. That narrow margin made every technical detail crucial, and the United States executed flawlessly while Jamaica suffered a slight hiccup during an exchange between twins Tia and Tina Clayton. Richardson's emotional celebration revealed someone who understood the significance of bouncing back from individual disappointment to help her team achieve greatness. Her comment about running with her heart because of her teammates captured the essence of relay competition, where individual glory takes a backseat to collective success. The victory completed a full-circle moment for lead leg runner Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, who became the first sprinter to win 3 events at a single World Championships since Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce accomplished the feat in 2013. Jefferson-Wooden's triple crown of 100, 200, and relay gold medals represents the kind of dominance that defines legendary championships. Farewell to a Jamaican legend. The relay final provided a bittersweet ending to Fraser-Pryce's remarkable World Championships career. The 38-year-old sprinter known as Mommy Rocket claimed silver in what many expect to be her final major championship, bookending a career that began with relay silver at the 2007 Worlds when she was just 17 years old. Fraser-Pryce's 17th World Championship medal, combined with her 8 Olympic medals, creates a legacy that transcends individual achievements. Her influence on women's sprinting inspired an entire generation of athletes, including several who shared the Tokyo track with her during her farewell competition. Jefferson-Wooden and other American sprinters sought out Fraser-Pryce after the race to express gratitude for paving the way in women's short sprints. That kind of cross-national respect demonstrates the impact Fraser-Pryce has had on the sport beyond just her medal collection. Lyles delivers drama-free excellence. The men's 4x100 relay provided a refreshing change from the typical American relay disasters that have plagued the team for decades. Lyles anchored a clean, efficient victory that avoided the exchange problems that have cost the United States medals in 7 World Championships and 6 Olympics since 1995. This marked the Americans' 2nd consecutive World Championships relay victory, though they did stumble at last year's Olympics. The absence of Jamaica's individual 100-meter medalists Oblique Seville and Kishan Thompson, whose team failed to qualify, certainly helped the American cause. Lyles admitted the race felt almost anticlimactic compared to his individual events, but expressed satisfaction with the team's technical execution. Sometimes the best relay performances are the boring ones where everything goes according to plan and nobody has to manufacture late-race heroics. McLaughlin-Levrone chases history again. The 4x400 relay provided another showcase for McLaughlin-Levrone's otherworldly speed. She inherited a substantial lead from Aaliyah Butler and extended it further, leading the Americans to a championship's record time of 3 minutes and 16.61 seconds and a 2.64-second victory over Jamaica. Just as she had done in Thursday's individual 400 meters when she became the first woman to break 48 seconds in nearly 4 decades, McLaughlin-Levrone found herself discussing world record possibilities. The relay mark of 3 minutes and 15.17 seconds set by the Soviet Union in 1988 represents another ancient barrier waiting to be broken. Her measured response about getting closer to the record while focusing on the immediate gold medal success demonstrates the kind of perspective that allows great athletes to chase history without being consumed by it. The only American stumble. Team USA's medal haul of 26 total and 16 gold came with one notable disappointment in the men's 4x400 relay. Anchor leg runner Rai Benjamin received the baton with a 0.19-second lead, but couldn't hold off Botswana's Colin Kebonat-Tshipi, who delivered his country's first-ever relay victory in 2 minutes and 57.76 seconds. The loss prevented a complete American relay sweep but didn't diminish the overall success of a championships that looked potentially disappointing earlier in the week. The 26 total medals matched their haul from the Tokyo Olympics, though with more than double the gold medal count this time around. Benjamin's defeat to Kebonat-Tshipi highlighted the emerging depth in global sprinting, with countries like Botswana developing into legitimate threats at major championships. The narrow 0.07-second margin proved that American relay dominance can never be taken for granted, even with substantial leads. The roar of a second chance. The roar that echoed through Tokyo's Olympic Stadium wasn't just the sound of a nation celebrating victory. It was the sound of redemption. When Sha Carri Richardson blazed down the final straight in the women's 4x100-meter relay, baton in hand, the track world didn't just see a runner.
They saw a woman rewriting her story in real time. Once the subject of controversy and doubt, Richardson's epic relay comeback has become one of the most unforgettable redemption arcs in modern sports. It was more than a win, it was a reclamation. Shadows of the past. 4 years, Sha Carri Richardson's career had been a story of extremes, blazing speed on the track matched by storms of scrutiny off it. Her arrest, suspensions, and relentless criticism threatened to eclipse her raw talent. The public divided sharply. Some saw her as a fallen prodigy, too reckless to fulfill her promise. Others defended her as a misunderstood athlete caught in the crosshairs of fame. Headlines that once celebrated her as America's sprinting future turned into debates about discipline, professionalism, and wasted potential. By the time Tokyo came around, many wondered if Richardson would ever reclaim the spotlight, let alone as part of a relay team that demanded trust, timing, and unity. The build-up, pressure, and preparation. The weeks leading up to the relay were intense. Track insiders whispered about whether she should even be on the squad. The 4x100 is unforgiving. A botched baton exchange, a mistimed stride, a single misstep, and the whole team crumbles. But Richardson's coaches saw something different. They saw hunger. They saw focus. She wasn't chasing headlines anymore, she was chasing belonging. In practice sessions, Richardson worked tirelessly on baton passes. Over and over, she drilled the exchange zone, her hands steady, her acceleration clean. She didn't just want to be fast, she wanted to be reliable. Her teammates, initially wary, began to nod in approval. By the final week, even skeptics admitted, Sha Carri is locked in. The race, seconds that felt like forever. The stadium buzzed with anticipation. The relay always delivers drama, and this one had layers of it. The US team lined up against Jamaica, the perennial powerhouse. The stakes couldn't be higher. The first leg exploded out of the blocks. The baton moved cleanly to the second runner. Then to the third. And then it was time. When Sha Carri Richardson took the baton on the anchor leg, the world seemed to hold its breath. Jamaica's star was just ahead, her stride smooth and confident. For a split second, it looked as though silver might be the ceiling. But then came the surge. Richardson's acceleration was electric, her stride devouring the track with defiance. With every step, the gap closed. With 30 meters left, she pulled even. With 10 meters, she surged ahead. And then across the line, arms wide, face alight with fire. The stadium erupted. The United States had gold. But more than that, Sha Carri Richardson had redemption. The celebration, tears, triumph, transformation. As the baton hit the ground in celebration, Richardson dropped to her knees. Tears streamed down her face as her teammates swarmed her. This wasn't just about winning gold, it was about reclaiming faith in herself, and earning the faith of those around her. She clutched the US flag, draping it across her shoulders, looking skyward. Cameras captured the moment, a runner who had once been written off now basking in the glory of one of the sport's most iconic events. When asked afterward how it felt, she simply said, "This isn't just my victory. This is our victory for my team, for everyone who believed, and even for those who didn't." Redemption runs fast. Chapter 5: Reactions from Doubt to Admiration. The track and field community exploded with reaction. Teammates praised her resilience. Former critics admitted they were moved. Social media flooded with hashtags like #Sha Carri Redemption and #RelayQueen. Jamaican fans, fierce rivals, acknowledged her brilliance, proving that greatness transcends rivalry. Commentators called it one of the greatest relay anchor legs in modern memory. One analyst put it best: "Sha Carri didn't just run for gold. She ran to remind us all that redemption is possible, even in the most public of arenas." Beyond gold, the power of redemption. What makes Richardson's comeback resonate so deeply isn't just the medal. It's the symbolism. The relay, unlike the individual sprints, is about trust, teamwork, and unity. For Sha Carri, running the anchor wasn't just about speed, it was about proving she could be counted on, that she could carry the weight of expectation and deliver. In that sense, her epic comeback wasn't just personal. It was collective. It was a lesson for athletes, fans, and even critics, that mistakes don't have to define you, that resilience is built in the aftermath of failure, and that the human spirit is faster than any stopwatch. A new chapter for Sha Carri. As the celebrations settled, one thing became clear: this was not the end of Sha Carri's story. It was the beginning of a new chapter. Endorsements, interviews, and global recognition followed. But more importantly, so did respect. No longer just the polarizing sprinter with controversy in her past, Richardson became the face of redemption in track and field. Her message resonated beyond athletics. Young people across the world saw in her a reflection of their own struggles. Schools, sports clubs, and communities used her story as a rallying cry: "Fall 7 times, stand up 8. Conclusion: a redemption story for the ages. Sha Carri Richardson's epic relay comeback will be remembered not just for the medal, but for the meaning. It was the kind of performance that transcends sport, embedding itself into the cultural memory as proof that comebacks are possible, that resilience is beautiful, and that redemption, when seized, is unforgettable. In years to come, when fans speak of great Olympic moments, they won't just remember the gold. They'll remember the fire in Sha Carri's eyes, the roar of the crowd, and the story of a woman who refused to be defined by her past. A story for the ages. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next time.